Howdy, folks. Today we're looking at Deep Cuts number 3 from 2023 in Image Comics. Our journey down the line with the history of jazz continues as the clock lands on 1940, the map on Kansas City. In the span of the series' first half, we began with the earliest roots, documented its time as a genuine fad, and now move on to another stage entirely. The regional fad has become a stable industry, popular the world over. This issue is framed as something of a mystery story, told through the eyes of young Alice, a girl we meet with her nose in a comic book, another fad then in its first throes. The mystery, such as it is, revolves around her father Otis, a former musician who walked away from the upright bass many years ago. It's a good life for a young black family coming up in the interwar years, but Alice still can't understand why her father would ever have turned his back on a promising musical career. Temptation arrives in the form of Otis's old pal Lamont Boggs. He's just passing through, but not without a purpose. The great Baron Redmond is in town and casting around for a new bassist for their European tour. The kind of opportunity that really doesn't come around very often for anyone, let alone someone out of the game for almost a decade. Deep Cuts avoids the most obvious route of providing any kind of thumbnail overview. If you want a popular history of jazz, there are plenty on the market. More to the point, Deep Cuts tells the story of the music through the lives of its practitioners. Jazz changes and matures a great deal over the course of the first half of the 20th century, transforming from fleeting sensation to a solid industry and even solid employment for those who can afford to live the life of a touring musician. There are theaters and clubs in Europe paying top dollar for American entertainers, after all. Baron Redmond is a celebrity. He's our stand-in for Count Basie, who got his start playing in Kansas City under a man named Benny Moten, who died way too soon of a failed tonsillectomy. Kansas City may be in the middle of nowhere on the map, but that central location, halfway between East and West, Chicago and New Orleans, clearly placed it at a geographic advantage, historically speaking. Deep Cuts is a collaboration between a number of forces. This issue's artist is Diego Greco, an Argentinian artist with a few American credits, but decades of experience in other markets. We mentioned Kyle Higgins last time, familiar to readers from the Radiant Black franchise, but he's co-writing here with Joe Clark, a musician and academic who brings an intimidating erudition in the subject matter. One interesting aspect of the series is that every issue features a new piece of music from a musician of Clark's acquaintance. Now, sadly, I only ever learned to sight read music well enough to get by in chorus, but it's a nice bonus for anyone with more skill in the matter than myself. It also points to the current dispensation of the music. Jazz isn't dead by any means, but it also hasn't been a truly popular music in many decades, barring the occasional crossover. It's an academic field as much as anything. That may seem unfortunate, but it's also more or less the way of the world. Musical genres have a half-life, after all, just like radioactive materials.